Okay, we have tick, tick, tick. Tick, tick, boom. Do you remember that one? Tick, tick, boom.
Tick, tick,
Tick, tick,
boom.
boom.
That's
So, here we go. Blast
that's
from the
awesome.
past memory.
That that makes me think of girls with big flowers in their hair and
Yeah.
a
Amazing.
bunch of
So,
smiles. Yep.
peeps around the world, morning, evening, afternoon, depending where you are on our gorgeous planet. I am
Yes.
here in London town, and my
I'm here in
amazing brother,
Alamo City, Texas.
Alamo City, Texas.
Yeah.
And we were just here. This is Here We Grow Again, which is a podcast where we talk about life, oh life, our lives basically, and about the stuff we learn, this growth games as I like to call them.
Growth
And
games. It's starting.
okay,
It's
this is
starting more
good.
and more. You keep saying it, but it's starting to feel like Hunger Games when you say
Hungry. What?
it. Growth games.
Hunger Games, girls games. What did you show me? My son was showing me something. I was like, what did we talk about? And he said, Bitcoin, funny stories, your grandma's youth. My grandma's youth or your grandma's youth? My grandma. No, your grandma's youth. Okay, so which
And
Bitcoin, funny stories, grandma's youth.
well, hey, Bitcoin's on the move, and
Okay.
if you don't have any, you can't experience its growth.
So it's growing again now because there was some up and down, wasn't there?
Well, it's definitely going to have a big up and down like lifestyle, but
Yeah.
it's the like I'm not the master investor. I'm what I'm really good at is a few times in my life, and I continue to impress this upon myself even over and over. But I go
Mm.
through 2 to 5 year spurts of, hey, this is like really worth investing in. Let me do this for 2 years. Let me do this for 5 years, and then I routinely have 2 to 5 years. And if I'm thinking now bigger, if I go,
Hmm.
5 to 7 years, or if I go harder than I've gone the 2 to 5 years that I've done it before, I routinely put away money, and then I have a pile of money that I get to live off of, or build a business with, or do something really big and fun with, because I
Mm.
I sacrificed the time of going out to the clubs or going to movies every Thursday and Friday night, and just invest money, invest money, invest money. And it's
Right.
all about, like, this Bitcoin game is all about uh, like buying real estate. If you really want to buy real estate and leave it to your kids, you need to buy it in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you need
Yeah.
to hold it and give it to your kids when you pass on 80, 90 years old. But
Mm.
you've now had it for 40 or 50 years before you give it to your children, so it's the value of it, just 40, 50 years worth of time, the
Right.
value of real estate goes up significantly.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
Bitcoin thing, whether you understand it or not,
It's
whether
a long game in that same aspect.
yeah, and whether I'm the master, influencer or explainer of it or not,
Yeah.
like, I have one thing figured out. It's digital real estate. If you buy it and hold it for a long time, it's gonna be like, right now you're buying trees. Like, it doesn't really look like a place where people are gonna spend millions of dollars.
Hmm.
But a lot of times people buy a little forest and then they let the city grow up around it for 40 years. And then suddenly the
Yeah,
forest is
got
worth
it.
millions of dollars because it's now in the middle of a city and it's the
Yeah.
last thing to be developed. If you take this
Mm-hmm.
long span mentality on Bitcoin, you know, 1,000, 10,000, $100,000, not a lot of money, but that small amount of money can really turn into big amounts of money because we're dealing in this digital real estate and these super geeky people are super smart and they didn't do anything except make something really scarce available in digital form. And that's never
Yeah.
happened before. So we're going to see something
Yeah, it's a totally
transition over
new, isn't it?
time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Bitcoin
So
lesson from the guy driving home from making deliveries. Yeah.
but that's the thing about it that I think is interesting, that it's a level open playing field, isn't it? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
know people from all walks of life, down to the big, I know guys who are like big investors, have what I call proper money.
Mm-hmm.
Got lipstick on my teeth.
Well,
Yeah,
and I know, like,
proper
I know
money
and I know
guys,
and I
and
know. What's that?
no, like those proper money guys who invest in Bitcoin, and they're like, put your money in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
It,
only just started maybe last year doing that.
I know in my heart, like, for one of the most sure times in my life, even if this is like a 5 year or a 10 year window, like if it takes that long to put that much money away, and basically it's just instead of holding money in cash, hold
Yeah,
money in Bitcoin and Ethereum.
yeah,
And if you hold your cash that you don't need for rent and food in those things, it's like a new version of gold. It's a new version of real estate. But since it's in its inception, it's only 12 years old. We're still, it's not 40, 50 years old and part
yeah.
of
It's still
every.
developing as a new form of currency, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, think about how big and how powerful the the Nike brand is.
Uh huh.
Nike is a big, huge brand. We all know it. It's almost like if you're on this planet and you don't know Nike, you're not on the planet.
Yeah, totally.
And think about it. Nike is a company that comes from the University of Oregon track team trying to just have the best shoes that they could so the students and
Really?
the professors truly the University of Oregon track team with professors and students that were running did everything they could, and out of making good shoes for the track team came the company Nike.
Really?
So,
I did not know that.
and this is in the 70s when Prefontaine was a pretty epic racer, and he was breaking American records and looking to go to the Olympics, and
Mm,
good story. Um, but Prefontaine, because he was so good, they wanted to give him everything that they could. So
mm,
some of this money was spent in the University of Oregon. But I bring that up because that, let's say that was 1975,
mm,
1972. Let's say it was
mm.
1970. Um, that's only 50 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like Nike has this global, even if you don't wear Nikes, you know
You know
Nikes.
them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And think about Bitcoin as, hey, you can never tell which company is going to be Google, which one's going to be Amazon, and if you just bought them in the beginning, you just only had to buy $2 worth, and you could be a millionaire. Um, these things, they all work like that,
Yeah.
and this is one that doesn't look like it's going to just go away.
go
like
away. Yeah, yeah,
Kleenex
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I think I get
tissue
the
royale
feeling
came in
though
second.
that I feel like there's like three things to it in my head. There's one, it's kind of obviously, new. It's the way of the world. It's digital and it's currency, and it makes sense because everything else is digital. So it makes sense that our currency is digital. And then I see the other side of my brain says, yeah, but those old rich white guys don't want like everybody else to be able to to have access to digital money that they don't control. And then and I feel like part of it being discredited, that part of that story of, oh, that's stupid, and trying to discredit it as something that's not valuable. I feel like it's linked to those old white men that don't want people to have access to something that basically is changing the world as we speak.
Yeah,
What do you think
it's a
about them
really
apples?
disruptive. You're right. It's a if I understand it even a little bit, it's a very disruptive. I'm arriving
Yeah,
home. It's a very disruptive technology that essentially wants to patch together a solution to two big problems. Those two big problems are rampant money printing and
mm,
not being having no power over your own financial sovereignty, because even
yeah,
if you earn the money in
yeah,
pounds or dollars,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. It's
system
not
is
yours. Yeah,
devaluing
the
the pounds and
system
the
has it.
dollars.
Yeah.
So, and what system is devaluing the pounds and the dollars? The central banks and the governments are in a beautiful conspiracy truth together that
I like that beautiful conspiracy truth.
I mean, and I'm just speaking from an economic truth of you can prove this over and over and over.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I'm not saying the Cubans shot Kennedy. You know what I mean? Um, what I'm just talking about math and the truth, and
yeah,
over and over and over, you can see government choices and central banking choices are leading our dollars to be worth less and less, right? And there's something trying to create a solution around that, because a solution would be to have some kind of currency or some kind of hedge of store of value that could
mm,
go up in value while inflation takes your dollar power away.
right,
And
right, right, right.
that's all
Well, I
Bitcoin
think
really is.
what's really hopeful about it for me, as the undying optimist that I am,
Mhm.
is that someone thought of it. Like someone
Right?
thought of something that was so extraordinarily different. And not only did they think of something that was so extraordinarily different, they managed to give regular people access to this extraordinary
Hmm.
digital currency. And I feel like there are so many people connected to it on a global level that it's not going anywhere fast. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's
when
not
you
going
give
anywhere
people the
fast, and it's going
power,
too fast.
yeah, when you give people the power to truly change their lives, most, not everybody will take it, but the ones that see it will take it. And the cool thing about changing the world that I always say is we don't need everybody. You don't need everybody to change the world. You need a big group of us to change the world, and
Yeah.
then eventually the rest of us come along for the ride because we're like, ah, fuck it.
Well, and it's taken me a long time to grow comfortable with the truth, but to really change my world, I don't have to change a lot of the world. Like my whole world can change just by changing a tiny piece of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
gives me a
absolutely.
little more hope. In
What
a
was that book? Do you remember in our book club last year, Andy, we were reading a book about finance,
okay,
and
we
it was
read a
this.
few.
We did. Oh man, I have to find it now.
Which
It was the
what it
one that was
what,
in the story. it was in the story of two men that lived in a fishing village, or they
Okay.
were fishing. No, they lived on an island and they didn't have anything, and they spent most of their day fishing. Do you remember
Right.
that? And
Yes.
then one of them kind of had the idea of, if I get this fishing net, um and I use my fishing net to fish, then I'd save time. I'd save time and energy, and instead of spending all day fishing, I could spend all day fishing.
I lost you. I lost you. You went blank. You froze on me. Come on back. Where are we now?
Dun, dun. Ah, here I
There we go.
am.
Reconnected.
I'm trying to find the. I'm looking at the book club now.
Oh,
So,
fun.
and
I'm
then
making a
so
cup of coffee.
okay. Now you're disappeared. Okay, cool. I keep thinking I forgot. It's the morning. It's the
Yeah,
morning.
my morning shift this morning. I generally, if I'm working like a full day and I have this planned, I would go out and
Okay.
I'd work
Ah,
two,
I
three
got it.
hours.
How an economy grows and why it crashes. And it really tells it in these metaphors. It's a metaphor of a story, and then how this community grows, and how the economy of this community grows, and makes these parallels towards our, like, the first chapter of it is a bit of a head blur because
Hmm.
he's going into economics and how like the history of economics and why it works, and my brain was like, ah! And I'm not, my brain doesn't like that stuff. But Andy did, he told me, he kind of warned me. Someone, it was either Andy or Philip, one of those guys warned me, and they were like, just get through that first chapter. If you get through that first chapter, the rest of it is golden.
Is really good.
I'm going to put it in the chat here because I highly, highly, especially in this time of our government's doing interesting stuff with our economy,
Hey, if you want to
they're
talk
fantastic.
about interesting stuff the government does and big companies do,
Uh-huh.
um, just to butt in, I read because we love to travel. I know we met in a loving travel uh, passion world, and
Yes.
the United Airlines
Uh-huh.
has uh, a news article this morning saying that they are going to require their employees to be vaccinated or risk losing their jobs.
Oh, well, that's just really constitutional of them, isn't it?
It brings up a lot of thoughts, and
Yeah.
before getting all excited about any of them, I was like, wow, that's a lot of thoughts. What's going on with the other people? And then I read a few more articles real quick, and Southwest, American Airlines, and United. So United
Yeah.
said they're uh, looking to push vaccines for all employees. American said um, we're uh, we're not doing that, and uh, Southwest said we're not even sure we want to continue pushing the mask mandate. Like three
Oh.
three completely different
Different scopes, yeah. Which I think is a
places.
good thing. Which I think is a good thing because you know what that means to me. That says to me that they are thinking. about their staff and their customers rather
Hmm.
than, oh, everyone's doing this, let's do this, or oh, we have to do this, let's do this, and they're making a decision based on what's relevant for them and their company and
Hmm.
their stuff. That's just my take on it. Because why else would you come to three completely different confused conclusions about the same situation if
I
you
was,
weren't thinking about it from your personal business perspective?
yeah, and I felt oddly victorious that there was like options.
Yes, thank
I
you.
I
I
was
want
I
options. I
it was
absolutely want options. I
it
want the
was a
right to
wow.
choose.
You know,
100%.
I'm completely okay with um there being airlines for vaccinated people who only want to travel around other vaccinated people only.
Yeah,
I
good for
think that
them. Go do
I
it.
I think that if you look at the economics of how the world generally works, I
Yeah,
think that that would be a luxury, and it would be like, ooh, there's like a first class
it'd be a niche.
vaccine train.
I know it would be luxury, but it would be niche for sure.
And yeah, go pay whatever. I'm gonna go third class with me, and you can be however you want.
Yeah,
So there still should be a price point giving me
yeah,
like what I'm used to, whereas people are gonna be like, these people are making my flight go up because the vaccine only is more expensive. No, you're making your vaccine price go up because you're choosing that one.
yeah. Yeah, choosing
Like
that game.
sheep,
Absolutely.
sheep and cats can still come on our plane. Haha.
We just want to be in different parts of the plane, right? That's fine.
I don't
Yeah.
even like cats, but they're allowed on my
Choice.
plane.
Choices, choices. As long as I get choices, I'm down. I
I,
am down.
the cat has to be in the little box or like in the cargo area, right? But like,
Yes,
I'm
it
not
does.
I'm not saying like
But
open
it still gets
open
to
no open carry cat, but
go. Cool.
I'm
Well, I think I'm going to cut this one short today because my head feels like it's about to explode.
yeah, I'm coming
And
out
I
of
need to.
the sickness myself.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, I just had this rubbish flu thing. Today was my
Headache.
first day, like, out of pajamas. No pajamas.
You got dressed.
I got dressed. Woo, woo. And I
Yeah,
went outside into the world.
I'm
And I
in the
think it really took
same.
it out of me being outside in the world. I was like, oh, I need to
You
go
know
back to
what's
bed now.
you know what's fabulous when you feel sick?
What?
Go outside and have it be like 95 degrees.
Actually, it was warm today. It
Uh,
it is. It's
it's
not
like,
quite
ooh, I'm
95.
sick and it's hot. Yay.
Yeah. Today it's let's see, what's the weatherman say? The weatherman says it is 22 degrees. How much is that for you?
22, I'm gonna guess, is like a nice, beautiful 79, 82,
Okay.
something like something around 80.
22 degrees. What do you have again? Fahrenheit, isn't it? Stop
Yes.
it.
Hi, Leon.
Yeah.
Man, I need to come hang
22.
out. I wanna come play
Yes.
basketball.
Degrees to Fahrenheit. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, you are right. 71.
71.
Yeah,
Oh wow, even brisker.
brisker. What are you today? What's the temperature now?
I've been outside. It's probably about 85 or
Okay. And that's in the morning.
yeah, we're
So
I
it's not even proper
it was
warm yet.
it was 80 degrees at 7:30 this morning.
Whoa.
Welcome to summer in
Welcome to
Texas.
Texas.
I went
Texas
out this
weather.
morning and it was only 80 degrees and
Yeah, I know. That's just such a beautiful problem to have.
if you like the heat, it's a
I
really
love the heat.
beautiful place to live.
Yes,
It's
I love the heat.
I'd say that most days like in the morning have a chance of being like 65 to 75 degrees in the morning.
Mm.
Like that's the morning temperature.
Yeah.
Most days of the year, unless it's the hot summer parts or the like month and a half of winter, will be outside of that range. It'll be cooler or
Yeah.
hotter. But
Yeah.
7 to 9, 10 months out of the year, you'll have like 75 degrees be your temperature when you get up, and it'll be like 85, 90. It'll go back down to 78.
That
Beautiful
sounds
thing.
like my kind of, those are my
When
kind of temperatures.
when you don't feel like you feel and you don't sound like that,
Yeah, like
then
that.
then you should come and we should really enjoy it. Bring Leon.
Yeah. Hey.
But I've
I
had the
look
croup.
forward to that.
I've had the
I
croup
look
for the
forward
week too,
to that. Awesome,
so
brother.
almost out of it. But
Okay, peeps. So we're together again on Sunday.
feel better between now and then.
Yes, and then I'm. What day is it? What day are we? It's Tuesday
Tuesday
today.
today.
Right, and then I'm doing mindset magic on Thursday.
Do you have that same time as now, or is that a later hour?
Five my time, which is what for you?
That's 11.
11. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll put it on my calendar and look to see you on that trip.
Yay! Okay, hermano.
Okay.
Awesome.
Feel better.
So, ciao, gente.
Yeah. Yeah.